Hi, it's Anne Marie with AM Astrology, and I am going to ramble my way through the chart for the new moon that's happening later today. So I have it set for, oops, that's the wrong one. I have it set for Washington, D.C., um, and it happens at 5:59 this evening, right before 6 p.m. And so you can see here it is at 20 degrees, 40 minutes of Aquarius. And in this chart for Washington, D.C., for our country, for the United States, my country, the ascendant is in Leo, ruled by the sun. So this then says that the people are here in the sixth house of hard work and service, illness. It's not a good house. It's a cadent house because it's not seen by the ascendant. And the sun is in Aquarius, which is its detriment. So, not very good. It's in a square to Uranus, which is here at the very top of the chart, the most elevated planet in the chart. So there's emphasis put on that for our country, for the United States. In Taurus, and so the 10th house, the midheaven, represents our leadership. It's the executive branch of the government. And so with Uranus right there, just wondering, is there going to be some sort of unexpected event that happens to the executive branch of government or to the leadership of the country? Uranus is not necessarily malefic or benefic, but it is sudden change or sudden unexpected events. So can certainly be malefic. Usually the outer planets are considered more on the side of maleficence than they are beneficence. So the midheaven is ruled, since we're up here, we'll just talk about it, ruled by Venus, which is a benefic. And she is down here in Capricorn. She's all business, focusing on responsibilities and getting things done. And she is in she is in a supporting aspect to this Uranus and to the midheaven. So, because she's, that's a trine. It's a separating trine from Uranus and an applying trine to the midheaven. So something that's this sudden unexpected thing, she's already aware of it, and then she's going to bring it to the leadership, or she is the leadership, but she's going to get wind of it. The sudden thing happens to her, and then she brings it to the collective, to the public. It becomes public. Interesting. What else is she doing? She also rules the third house of neighboring countries, of communication, the internet, emails, speeches. So that's interesting too, with the south node right there. The south node in this sense is think of it like Drano. It's clearing all of that out. So it's all dissolving and going away. It's like it's all clearing up. It's draining out. So tongues are wagging, and it's all about the past, and we're going to hear all about it. So there is that. So what else do we want to look at? Another part to this chart that I found fascinating is Mars, which Venus is applying to that conjunction, which is coming up pretty soon, later this month, when Venus will have finally caught up with Mars. They were they were almost in a sextile last summer, almost, and then she stationed retrograde, if you remember, in Leo, and so then Mars continued on, and so she has finally just about caught up with Mars, but he is still just out of reach. Mars is ruling both the IC and the ninth house. And so the cusp of the fourth house, this is the foundation of the chart. So this represents the foundations, the traditions, the family, what we're used to doing, what we bring from our past to how that makes us who we are today. And then ruling the ninth house, this is the judicial branch of the government. It represents foreign things as well, foreign countries, but the judiciary. So having Mars rule both of these things would indicate then that there's something about the Supreme Court, which is where we can see Jupiter and Uranus in that house, and the fourth house, our foundation, something about them. They have been on the same mind because they're both represented by Mars, but as we can tell, Mars is in exaltation in Capricorn, and Mars is not a peaceful planet. Mars is a little bit combative. Mars is a little bit aggressive. Mars is a get things done planet. Lots of energy, lots of fire, let's get it done. And in Capricorn, he's very strong. He wants to move, and he feels very confident about getting things done. But he's in the last 2.5 degrees of Capricorn. So that exaltation is coming to an end. He's getting ready to go. Not only is he leaving his exaltation and changing signs, but look who he's going to run smack dab into, but Pluto. So the idea of the Supreme Court and our foundations thinking everything is good and fine, and this is the way it's always been done, and we've got it all figured out, and now we're going to run into Pluto. And you know that the United States has been going through what's called the Pluto return, because Pluto was at 27 degrees Capricorn, which is exactly where Mars is right now in the chart of the United States. So Mars is sitting on this 27 degrees of Capricorn, where Pluto is in the chart of the United States, approaching Pluto. Things are getting changed. Things are going to change. No doubt about it. So that's pretty interesting. We've got the sextile up here to Neptune. So there's this idea of confusion and disappointment, because Neptune can also mean disappointment. And Neptune is in the 10th house. The 8th house of death and anxiety. So that sounds kind of doom and gloom, doesn't it? So this is the new moon. So there's seeds planting. So these are all seeds that are planting. This energy is all being planted now, or certainly sounds familiar, like we've been living it already. So these are the things that are being planted for this lunar cycle. So for the next 28, 30 days. And this is, again, like I said, for Washington, D.C. And I thought we could look at what this chart hits, or where the chart hits certain other charts. And so we will start with, let's go to Joe Biden first. So if we do this, then we've got, no, that's not what I want. Pull that up, pull this up by wheel. Joe Biden. Yeah. Okay. So the president's chart is on the inside, and then this new moon is here on the outside. So what it's hitting his third house of communication, speeches, neighboring countries, short distance travel. And it is in a square to his Mercury, his 12th house Mercury, which is his mind, his communication. So these are things that he already gets bad press about, right? So there could be more of that, unfortunately. And it's also, you know, the square to Uranus is in his 6th house. So this Uranus of sudden change and unexpected things is opposing his Mercury. And then it's going to continue on and eventually oppose his Sun and Venus. But it's in the 6th house of illness. And so this is going to hit his thinking, and in a non-healthy manner is what I would say. It's going to be a tough time for him. And I think just last night he got on and on the news and spoke about the Robert Hur ruling, and I didn't watch it, and what I saw of communication about it didn't sound like it went very well. He came out swinging, and there might have been some misfires. I'm not sure. But you can see why that's going to happen, though. I mean, with this all going on here. Okay. So if we look at then somebody else that we want to look, well, let's look at where it's hitting in the United States chart. I know this is taking a long time, sorry. Go to the United States, go to the Aquarius New Moon. Okay, so the United States chart is here, and then the new moon is here. So it's a huge packed 2nd house for the United States, because you can see this line that goes here that's trying to include all of these things in the 2nd house. 22 degrees is the cusp for the 3rd house, and the planets being at 20 degrees, I would include them in the 3rd house because of the 5-degree rule. And so again, it's communication. It's our messaging. What is the message that we're projecting, or what the country is projecting? Now, sitting right on the cusp of the 6th house, this just feels like things are not going to be going well. We're not going to be communicating well. We're going to be ill-advised. Our communications are going to be suddenly negative. It's also in a trine to the United States Mars. So then we've got the idea of, again, conflict and aggression. Not good. What else do I see? I'm probably going to miss things, but I just wanted to try to do this quickly. So the quarter moon is going to pull that in. Okay, so again, similar to Joe Biden's chart, the United States chart. So now let's look at do I have to open it? Let's look at real quickly Kamala Harris, just to be consistent here. Okay, Kamala's chart on the inside, and this new moon is on the outer ring. Look, everything's all now up in the top, whereas we've been looking at everything underneath. So here it's hitting her 9th house. So don't know, and it's opposing her Mars. and it's approaching conjunction with her Saturn. So Mars in her chart rules her 6th house. Boy, we keep going to the 6th house, and her 11th house of hopes and dreams. There is also, I know that it's hitting some other things in her chart. Her Neptune, it's in a square to her Neptune, and it's in a square to her Jupiter. And then the opposition to Mars. So she's going to be feeling this as well, but it's going to be more of a well, because of the Mars, it's communication again, but it's going to be like foreign. Maybe she's going to come out and speak about something to do with the Supreme Court, the judiciary, the legal proceedings that are happening. She may have something to say about that, or she may be doing some foreign travel, but then it's being crossed by this is so 6/12 axis, which is illness and healing. So it will be interesting to see how it affects her. I also drew up the new moon for London, for England, because of everything that's going on with the royal family. And so this is in the 4th house. It's the new moon is happening in the fourth house because of, being in a different part of the world, but it's still at the same degree and everything. That doesn't change. 4th house of foundations and tradition, and the sun rules this 10th house of leadership, being Leo, the sign of royalty. So these are new seeds that are being planted. Uranus, that square to Uranus, is in the 8th house of death and anxiety, taxation, inheritances. But that's sudden changes, sudden unexpected events happening. And so this is ruled by Venus, and we've talked about, what Venus is doing. Venus is all business, in Capricorn, she's like, I love the traditional things, and I just want to stick to business things the way they are. And I'm in a trine to to this. So there's something about this that says the people have something to say. Mars in this chart rules the 6th house of illness and the 7th house of open enemies and partnerships, one-on-one partnerships. So this exaltation, thinking things are better than they really are. That's what exaltation is. Thinking things are better than they really are. Acting, because it's Mars, acting like things are better than they really are. And that's all going to change. As soon as Mars leaves Capricorn, it's no longer exalted. And then it's also conjunct Pluto. So, yeah. So that's happening. So that's interesting to see, considering King Charles' diagnosis and the where is Princess Catherine dilemma that's going on. I don't have Catherine's chart up, but I do have King Charles. So let's just look quickly to see where this new moon is hitting his chart. King Charles on the inside and the new moon on the outside. And so the new moon is within the 5 degrees of the 8th house of anxiety and death, squaring his sun, which is his natural vitality, the ruler, the signifier of vitality. So there's that square. And Venus and Mars and Pluto, yeah, are all in the 6th house of illness. And so that's a lot of energy there. Uranus is the planet that's squaring this new moon, is up here in the 10th house of public reputation and, your career or your vocation. So sudden change in leadership, sudden change and it's ruled by Mars, the top of the chart. His midheaven is ruled by Mars, which is, we've already talked about that, in exaltation right now, but getting ready to change. So things could be happening fast there with the royal family. So that was all quick. I know I just wanted to get on here and talk about the new moon for a little bit. So I hope you liked it. Please consider leaving me a comment or share my videos. And thank you so much for watching. And we will see you next time. Thanks.